My name is ScottDeWaard. I've been a furniture maker since 1980. Since I moved to the area, I live just south of Maribel in Townsend, so I'm pretty close here to Knoxville. I've got two pieces in the show, and these two pieces come out of my thoughts on end-of-life issues and how people deal with that and celebrate it, or now there's another word that's got to be better than that. The ceremonies surrounding these things and how people deal with the loss and grief. And I started making urns a number of years ago, and these are just a natural progression from thinking of that. This piece here is the family cabinet, and the idea here is to create a canvas that someone can kind of make their own picture in. The idea is that it would house, it would be like the Japanese tradition of the bosidan that had oftentimes, that was a Buddhist shrine, but oftentimes it would carry the remains or hold the remains of family members that had passed on. And in this, what I wanted to do was just create kind of an altar, if you would, in the house that you could use to remember a life and kind of work through a grieving process over time rather than just have it be a single event. And this piece is designed so that it can kind of be closed off and just not showing a lot of things, but then opened up to have memorabilia. Even there's a place for an urn in it, a full-size urn, and there's places for small urns that are known as keepsake urns, that oftentimes when someone is cremated and scattering is the choice, a lot of times people like to keep just a little bit of the remains, and those are little keepsake urns. So you'll have soji screen can slide either way and open up to a display area here where possibly I saw a picture of a loved one and just things that are important in a person's life. And again, the cabinet here opens. And the whole thing is kind of designed as to try to create a collection of things like life is. And so that was my thinking on this piece here. I started doing a lot of work for churches, and so, you know, the altar furnishings in the top and all of those, well, there are primary pieces, depending on the faith community, that are symbolic in themselves. You know, they're larger than the piece that they are. You know, the altar of sacrifice, you know, the Last Supper, that sort of thing, that sort of imagery gets put into, you know, that piece of furniture. And so that just started making me think of pieces more symbolically, you know, and how they have weight that's beyond just their function. But we do that with all of our kind of pieces too. If you have a piece of furniture, it can be a simple chair that, you know, you loved as a child, and that thing comes to represent so much more than the simple thing that it is. But starting from the idea of having kind of embedded weight, this symbolic quality to it, that's a bit harder, I think, you know, than just trying to make a piece that then becomes something more. But we do have events in our life that require ceremony and require symbolism, require things that transcend the physical. And that's where some of my work has kind of moved into. The palanquin is another piece of furniture, my other piece of furniture in this show, and it was designed with the idea of a memorial service where cremation has been the chosen avenue of disbursement of the body. And the idea here was to kind of bring in some of ceremony that we've had with the traditional funeral service, casket base, and use those where cremation has been chosen. The idea was to be able to bring in pallbearers and family and friends into the memorial service, and to add a bit more dignity to the service. The piece is designed to function in a number of different ways. It can be used without this top piece here, and with the urn fully exposed like this. But again, the idea is just to create more community involvement in the memorial service and make it more meaningful and dignified.